Joe Couteau. I'm the Director of Government Relations and Communications for the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police. And we're very pleased to be here with our President and Chief of Peel Regional Police, Chief Duraiappah, and our Solicitor General, the Honorable Michael Kerzner, to kick off Crime Prevention Week. But before we begin, I'd just like to take time to ask everyone to just double check and turn off your cell phones and electronic devices. It's always important. So please do that. And as we begin, I would like to acknowledge the land on which we gather as part of the treaty lands and treaty of the territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit. For thousands of years, Indigenous people have inhabited and cared for this land and continue to do so today. And in particular, we acknowledge the territory of the Anishinaabe, of Huron-Wendat, the Haudenosaunee, and the Ojibwa and Chippewas people, the land that is home to the Métis, and most recently the territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, who are the direct descendants of the Mississauga of the Credit. And these cannot be words that we just simply say. In spirit of truth and reconciliation, we must remember to uphold our promise to protect and share this land, commit ourselves to learning the true history, and celebrate the vast contributions First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people have made and continue to make to Canada. And this morning, the OACP President and Peel Regional Police Chief Nishan Duraiappah, along with Ontario Solicitor General Michael Kerzner, will be providing details on our joint efforts to prevent crime in our community here in Peel Region and across our great province. After this announcement, there will be an opportunity for questions, and we ask that questions be related to this specific event and Crime Prevention Week. And I ask that you please limit, ladies and gentlemen of the media, one question and one follow-up so that we can get as many inquiries, if there are any, as possible. Please use the microphones that are available to you, and so that we can hear you clearly and that you'll be understood. And a media release is being issued by the OACP shortly after the conclusion of this media update, and we'll include links to all the information provided today. A full video of this conference will also be available on the Peel Regional Police YouTube channel. So now, without any further ado, I would like to call on to the podium Chief Nishan Duraiappah.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you all for joining us to mark the launch of Ontario's Crime Prevention Week. As Chief of Police and also as the current President of the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police, I'm proud to welcome Ontario Solicitor General, the Honourable Michael Kerzner, here, as well as some of our community partners. We have other MPPs here that I know that the Minister will probably introduce. We thank you for your continued support of this government as it pertains to policing and public safety here. But I also want to acknowledge the sea of officers that are behind here that also are partnered with our community agencies and the province when we do public safety work. Today's purpose, when we announced the Ontario Crime Prevention Week, is to raise public awareness on the many outstanding initiatives that are already occurring right across this province in collaboration with many community partners. I'm proud to say that across Ontario, during Crime Prevention Week, there are men and women that are in uniform capacity, that are civilians, that are auxiliary volunteers for police agencies, that are frontline officers, special constables that are all participating in a variety of community prevention work. A common element amongst this is that we want to get ahead of crime and disorder before it occurs. One of the concepts that we are advocating for is a concept of community safety and well-being, which speaks to the fact that we can change outcomes instead of chasing symptoms, but trying to get upstream and bringing along multi-sector partners at every possible way to reduce risk in our communities. The concept simply is that if you apply evidence-based decision-making to planning as it pertains to prevention where there is risk, and we can change policies, practices, and the way we do business in communities, we can actually turn the dial down on crime and vulnerability and victimization in our communities. And so this is the shift that we're seeing here across policing. And prevention is one of the most important elements of it. And today we have several community partners that I'm pleased to announce. Of course, we have Crime Stoppers, which we have right across Ontario. Imran Hassan is here from Crime Stoppers. We know how powerful they are in a variety of different capacities of allowing us to get ahead of issues before they happen. We also have Safe City Mississauga that is here, Gerald Haddad and the ED Teresa Burgess Ogilvie, who are instrumental in things like Business Watch, Neighborhood Watch, School Watch, and also are doing evidence-based data collaboration to see where we can get ahead in different communities geographically to mitigate risk. We have Nurturing Neighborhoods of Brampton, which has one of the flagship neighborhood watch programs here that brings citizens together and tightens the safety net in their community. We have Vision Zero for the region. Danielle DeGraw and Jennifer Andrade, and I didn't mention Razmeen Syed and Amanda from Nurturing Neighborhoods of Brampton, but Vision Zero, for example, using evidence to turn down the dial on pedestrian injuries, from road safety, from getting into schools. Here in Peel Region, we have the largest logistics hub outside of Los Angeles, which means truck and commercial safety is paramount on our roads, and they are working with us, the City of Brampton, who's here, and the City of Mississauga on the region of Peel to turn down the issues on road safety. Of course, Elizabeth Fry, Jody Miller, and Leanne Bailey, who are here, that are working to mitigate the risk we see in vulnerable populations, inclusive of human trafficking and vulnerable populations that are here. Joy Brown is here. And so, you can see this is community with us as we work to prevent and mitigate risk in this community. So with that, I am extremely pleased to have Minister Michael Kerzner here, who has joined us. And I must say, since his appointment, the minister has consistently reached out to the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police and police leaders and executives right across this province, offering support, listening to our insights and our issues, and the impact that we all see on community safety. Can I say we truly appreciate your efforts to strengthen our relationships with the community and the efforts of the province to enable us to be better in the communities that we police. The women and men of policing are extremely supportive of the efforts of this province. We appreciate, Minister, you making it personal, which I know you've done. And the Minister and I chatted several times about how he spends his time. And he is literally in every municipality, every 911 communication center, every police agency, making sure that the province is in tune with the reality of what we're seeing on a day-to-day basis. So this year's theme for Crime Prevention Week is a safer, stronger together. Safer, stronger together. And the theme not only stresses the obligation of police professionals to respond to crime when it happens, but also to look at a holistic upstream approach with our community partners, as I just said, to prevent crime and those criminal activities that victimize our community. Collaboration and trust are the core tenets of it to make sure that we have safe and vibrant communities here together. Everyone here in Ontario deserves to live in a safe community. Community safety well-being is the responsibility of all of us together, the responsibility of everybody in this province of Ontario. Getting involved and knowing what is already out there that is intended to help ensure that your communities are safe is the responsibility of our community as well. We know this week we want to promote all these different activities that are happening that are there and intended for the community to help you stay safe. We want to intervene and prevent crime, work with local police solutions in our community, whether it be government, education, the human services, social services, not-for-profit sectors, and our government to address crime in our communities. There's always work to do when it comes to crime prevention, but we're intent on making it better here in the province of Ontario. And with that, it's my privilege to introduce the Honourable Minister of the Solicitor General, Michael Kerzner.
Thank you. It's great to be here. It's important that we also acknowledge that today is National Indigenous Veterans Day. I want to acknowledge that. I'm mindful on the lands that we stand, and thank you, Joe, for acknowledging that. I want to also recognize our Chief Duraiappah, for being awarded the Order of Ontario. And this is a tremendous, tremendous honor for you, for the service here, and for your community. And I want to say a special hello to my colleagues who I see many days a week, Rudy and Hardeep and Sharif. It's always great to see you. You're amazing colleagues. And it's amazing how much you love your community. It's a thread that we see amongst everybody that serves in the Ontario legislature, and I wanted to say thank you. It's an important occasion to be here, safer, stronger, and together, because I believe everyone has an inherent right to feel safe in their own homes and their own communities, but we can't do it alone. For me, this has been an honor of a lifetime to serve as Solicitor General. It's a responsibility I do not take lightly. I feel in many ways, as Chief Duraiappah said, my role is to be the ambassador to the communities and to our police services and everyone that keeps us safe across Ontario. Our police officers, our firefighters, our 911 call operators, our special constables, our correctional service officers, and everyone that plays a role that keeps us safe. Because our public safety matters. And what's important, and I want to give a shout out to the organizations here who have partnered with Peel. It's just incredible for the work that you do. But I want to talk about our public safety and why is it important, and why do many of us who live in our communities feel that we have this inherent right always to take things for granted. And you bring things to the forefront today. It's because we live in our communities and we don't have that 360 perspective that those who keep us safe do on us. We take so many simple things for granted, where we walk and where we play and where we pray and where we shop. And it's something that, at least in my first 150 days almost, I do not take for granted. Because the important work that's being done, especially here in Peel, and last week we had Peel representatives right in the Ontario legislature, and we applauded them for the $25 million drug seizure that they were successful in dealing with. And again, it's amazing that you were with us last week. Our government has taken public safety seriously. With the monies that we've spent, over $200 million in gun and gang strategy, $1.5 million right here in Peel, the $267 million invested for community safety and policing grants, supporting the Peel Police Project and Project Aegis. And the list goes on. But I have to say, and when I was in Halifax just a few weeks ago for the provincial, territorial, and federal meeting on public safety, I spoke to them about what we need the federal government to do, to go to the borders, because we know in Ontario, and the chief here will tell you, that almost every gun that is used in a violent crime is emanating from the states. And we need our federal partners to step up to the plate, to improve inspections, and to take measures so that those guns do not come into our communities. Our communities have to stay safe, because some things have to matter. The rule of law must matter. Our ability to live in our communities matter. And this is something that I'm a great advocate of, that we must stand with our community partners who work tirelessly every single day to partner with our police services to keep us safe. I think the solution in part of the problem of tackling crime within our communities is to identify the people that are acting this way and to stop them before they act. Our communities are places that we call home and where we live. Our communities were here before us, and they will be here long after us. And I think it's important for everyone to know, especially here in Peel and all across Ontario, that the Premier, myself, and our government has the backs of everyone that keeps us safe, and we're really proud of it. And together, we will achieve what is hard. We will work to do what is hard to keep Ontario safe. Ensemble, nous continuerons de faire ce qui est difficile. Nous continuerons de réaliser ce qui est difficile pour assurer la sécurité de l'Ontario. Safer, stronger, and together. And thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Minister, for those words and for having our backs. We know you have our backs everywhere you go, and we thank all the members here, elected members, for joining you. Very much appreciated. And Chief, thank you, of course, for your leadership, not only here in Peel Region, but across Ontario as our Premier. And finally, before we just open it up to any questions, I just want to thank the men and women of Peel who are here, sworn, civilian, and your special constables, your auxiliary, and the job that you do here in Peel Region. It's noticed, it's valued, it's something that is an example to all police in our province, and we really appreciate, Chief, the work that you do here in Peel. We thank the community partners. It's wonderful to see these wonderful faces here of crime prevention and making Peel Region one of the safest places, I think, in North America. Wouldn't you agree, Chief?
It is, certainly is.
Yes. So with that, thank you. We will open it up if there are any questions that you'd like to ask, obviously related to Crime Prevention Week. All good. Thank you. Well, thank you very much, sir. And
colleagues.
all right. Stay safe, everyone.
You want to do it right here?